Shalom, shalom. This is Shalimar from the Great Millstone, Atlanta Camp. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakbadash. Double honor to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, love, and safety to the hopeful elect. And I just want to go into, there was a young man that was judged not too far from the area where I live. Actually, me and a couple other brothers stay in this area. It was a young Jake, 21 years old, found lynched. And this was 2 days ago, Wednesday, in Marietta. And I'm just going to go into, first of all, I want to read this scripture because this is going back to us being slaved by our possessors, which is Esau, Edom. Now, they saying that this was a suicide. Jake ain't about to hang themselves from a tree. All right? They're not about to lynch themselves. And folks keep saying this over and over. Ain't no so-called black man or Latino or Native American man is going to climb up in a tree, wrap a rope around his neck, and hang himself. That's just not going to happen. It was someone did it. Most likely it was an Edomite, probably the KKK. So it's a lot of people doing videos on it. But the thing is, the major news stations are not covering it. They're trying to cover it up. So I did find this one article on News One that talks about it. But I want to read in Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 4 and 5. It says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh of my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not." Yeah, the so-called white man never cared or loved the Israelites. They are the main enemy of Israel. Whenever you read about the other nations, the enemies of Israel, it always named Esau, Edom first. And they're going to actually get the worst punishment out of all the other nations when the Lord returns. Okay? But it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. They covered this up so much that they're not even opening an investigation. The investigation was that the guy was, it was a suicide. All right. So this is going to keep happening. It's been happening more often, more than, the last past 20 years, the last past, I want to say 3 to 5 years. It's been a lot more, it's been a lot more so-called black men found lynched. So it was a couple of them at one time. I want to say around the time that guy, Mr. Charles, got taken out by a fellow Edomite. These Edomites got mad and wanted to, go after Jake, which I still don't understand that. But it makes sense when, because it said that he kept his wrath forever. Amos chapter 1 and verse 11. It says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever." So that's why Edom is going to get the judgment that they're going to get because of the things that they're doing. Now, the Lord allowed them to do certain things, just like he allowed Satan to go after Job. The Lord allowed Satan, and same thing with Esau, Edom, who was the devil. He allowed him to do certain things. And right now, the Lord is protecting 1/3 of Israel in America. The other 2/3 is just going to be destroyed. All right. Now, when I go back, what was the scripture? Zechariah 11:4. It says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter." So we're supposed to teach our people, and that's what we're doing. Now, if this guy was in the truth, he'd be sending up prayers. He'll be sending up prayers to hide him from the wicked, just like Psalm 64. All right, he'll be saying he'll be asking Lord for protection. He'll know the name of the Lord, and then on top of that, you got to be circumspect. And this guy did the video. I believe his name was Kyle. He did a video. I think it was his last post. He was, I think, in the same part where he was found, and he was talking about how we are better than them. I believe he was talking about Edom. So I'm not 100% on that, but he was just saying that we're better than them. First he was saying something about we're equal. Then he was like, yeah, we're better than them, something like that. It's like I don't have all the correct points, and then he said something about, he cut the video. He said it's this woman following me, and you go from that, and then the next day Jake found her hanging from a tree, and I'm pretty sure Esau did investigate these videos this guy did, and just said, well, it was suicide. So we're going to get to the article in a second, but I do want to get one more scripture because I talked about it. I spoke on it. Psalm 64 in verse 5, I believe. It says, "They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?" It could have been somebody out there just watching them. He could have got surrounded. They could have grabbed him, where there was no one around. And, they could have knocked him out with some type of gas and hung him from the tree and just, let him die. So Esau is very, when it comes to killing and murdering, this devil, he knows all the tricks to where he won't be found out. That's why it says they commune of laying snares privily, and they say who shall see them. All right, but I want to go down a little bit. Actually, I want to go up. Verse 2 says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity." So it's a lot of things that these devils are cooking up to try and destroy Jake. And he could have been a sacrifice, But then again, at the end of the day, he was part of the 2/3 because he didn't get this. So if he was part of the elect, when he'll come back when Yahweh shall return and receive that salvation. But yeah, Jake got caught up. He was probably by himself. That's why it's not a good idea, especially if it's late. Don't be out by yourself. If you are, make sure you're in a car driving on the way to somewhere, on the way home. Okay. Just a few months ago, last year, it was some twins. I believe they were 19 years old. And they were found up in North Georgia, in a mountain area, with gunshot wounds. They said it was a murder-suicide. And the family's like, there ain't no way somebody did this. But of course, you know, the investigators, they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna say, oh yeah, we know who did it. It was one of us. They just gonna say, well, it was a murder-suicide. Nobody did it. Same way they do in this story. So here's the story right here. Like I said, this is News 1. It says 21-year-old's body found in wooded area of Georgia Park. Authorities are investigating it as a suicide. The unidentified 21-year-old man was found February 14. No, I think it was more like on the 18th. 14th, that was last Saturday. And I believe he was found on this past Wednesday, which was 2 days ago. Today's Friday. So that would have been on the today's the 20th. That would have been on the 18th. I believe it was on the 18th, so that's probably a typo or something. But it says the body of a 21-year-old man was discovered in a wooded area of Fair Oaks Park in Marietta, Georgia on Wednesday morning. See? So, yeah, the date that they have at the top was incorrect. According to Cobb County Police, the victim has not been identified, but local authorities have already reported that detectives found no signs of foul play and have determined the death of being investigated as a suicide. So, like I said, you know, they're going to hold themselves not guilty, as the scriptures say. You know, this devil is real clever in doing these things. And you go back, they used to take pictures and, you know, send postcards and had barbecues and picnics and all that stuff around Jake while they was hanging from the tree dead. Had little children around smiling, taking pictures. This stuff is online. Like, these same demons are still here. They just in a different body. That's why the scriptures say, let's go to Isaiah, because they're gonna be like, well, that wasn't me, you know, that was 200 years ago. No, y'all still doing the same thing because you're the same people. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. All right. Why? Because they are their great-great-grandfathers back on earth again. People are reincarnated. Spirits are recycled. Ecclesiastes chapter 1. There's no new thing under the sun. Okay, so that's why major judgment is going to happen to the Edomites, the wicked. Major judgment. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. You know, another Jake found dead. It was local. You know, and once again, oh well, he did it to himself. Why would this man take time out to do videos and try and get his word out, and then right after that, you know, off himself? You can tell by how he was speaking in his videos that he didn't really sound suicidal, because he was talking about God this and God that, you know, and you know we're better people and we're above them, and you know, just stuff that he was mentioning, and they're not even investigating that. They just saying that, hey, you know, he just did to himself. And this has been happening a lot, and they don't investigate. You know, they can care less about Jake. So, you know, the Lord got to step in, bring that judgment to these heathen nations, and he's still using Esau, Edom, to get rid of the 2/3 of our people. That's just not going to get it. All right, so we're going to see more and more stories And then, you know, sooner or later, Judah's going to get roused up. So we'll see what happens, see how the Lord, you know, put the spirit on these different people to go to war, or, you know, it's going to be more and more uproars. Everything going on with the wars, and, you know, with ICE, and, you know, and all this stuff. Yeah, this place is America's in a real bad position, and it's gonna fall soon with all of this stuff going on. But yeah, I pray this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rahakadash. Double honor to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. Shalom to the hope of the elect.